throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting the fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us, and y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Trying to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing, obviously never silent. New alignment, I'm defiant, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as the young graffiti artist. Before the beard, I always got carded. At every bar, even though my bar's been the hardest. The scars on my face said I ain't always been the smartest, but I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody will ever see. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, I can show you where my...
The type of guy that would ride with the breeze. I'm higher than most people, I'm cold and icicle freeze. I'm liking to Mike Tyson, I'm a bison, a beast. I'm hot like Jamaica, like right by the beach. My pops is from a spot where they're fighting for peace. 8 years old out there watching people fight in the streets. All these sirens only make the violence increase. Yeah, we're still not loving police. It's that bright young American, nice, dumb, arrogant. Tight on a mic, but he might need a therapist. Heart full of kerosene, head full of fairy tales. Said that you're my homie, you don't know me, but I know you very well. Roll back on some West Coast shit. This whole track is wetter than your dress code kiss. About to hit the track, running on some retro fit. I guess so lit, I guess so bitch, now let's go.
I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops, my soul will not leave. If I never stood tall, nobody...
What's good?
Tuesday night, fellas. Sports Nonsense and Whiskey. Welcome.
Let's get it.
I know Caleb's not here. He might join later. He's
We'll
on
see.
babysitting duty. So it's just me and Robert for now. Cheers. Robert, what do we want to talk about, buddy?
Well,
What
let's get a
nonsense
couple.
you got?
I mean, number one, the Penguin is over. I've not watched the finale myself. I've had a couple things going on. I should be watching in the next couple of days. But from what I have gathered and have seen, it is one of the highest rated TV episodes of all time. This season, the series has been 100% from the very start. I can't recommend it enough. And from what I've seen, this leads perfectly into Batman 2. Colin Farrell has stated he is in 5 or 6 scenes and is signed on for a 3rd movie. So very, very excited to see where this goes.
Are they already filming Batman 2?
They are getting ready to start, I believe, principal photography. And Greg Fraser, the cinematographer for not only the Batman, but also Dune, should be available for that. So I'm hoping we get him to return for this as well. But it's getting ready. We'll see what happens. But it's moving. It's moving.
Okay. I'm excited to sit down and watch it.
With that being said, James Gunn has confirmed, although has not confirmed a release date. The Superman trailer has been cut. It is on a hard drive. He has it. We'll see what happens with that. But there's a lot of other shows to come out beforehand.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited. They have a lot of things they can do, a lot of things they can change.
I mean, with them bringing in Krypton and all these other things, I'm very interested to see where this goes.
I will say, if James Gunn has a vision, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll get some good content. I
would agree.
I feel like what's his name, Zack Snyder. I think he had a big picture, but couldn't capitalize on putting all the pieces together.
Which, I mean, when you're given a fast track to a multiverse that is trying to mirror the Avengers and Marvel and all of these things, you're set up for failure. Now, that being said, I would have loved to have seen Zack Snyder's verse be built upon. However, I'm not sad to say that we're getting something different. And not, you mean, we got Rebel Moon, and that, you and I both don't agree on that, or that it was a good series at all. Caleb, however, seems to have enjoyed it and is ready for more. I'm not. Which I will say, surprisingly, if anyone out there that watches is a big Norse mythology person, Zack Snyder actually made a great series that just released on Netflix called Twilight of the Gods, that I heavily enjoyed. Not kid appropriate, but it is an animated series. Pinky, I recommend checking it out if you've got some free time, if you're not watching anything that I've recommended already. But a 10 out of 10 series for sure from Snyder. But I'm excited for the Gunverse. I'm ready to see where he takes it. There's a lot of things that are happening there already. And yeah, I'm just here for the ride.
So let's see. Didn't really watch any movies lately. I'm still.
Ooh. Oh, Arcane, season 2.
I don't know what that is.
It's a series based off of a game called League of Legends. Not that you need to really have played it or anything. You've Pinky, we've talked about it at extent at work, but how much I loved the Spider-Verse movie and the animation and everything that it brought and how it told its story. Arcane is very much its rival for me. You don't have to have played the games to appreciate it. It's just wonderful storytelling and animation that just you sit there and go, how did we get there? And it's just beautiful. The soundtrack is also amazing. I can't recommend that enough. Pinky, if you ever want, I own it. I own the first season. I am that impassioned by it. So if you ever want to watch it, it's also on Netflix. So I know you have that. There's only 2 seasons. That will only ever be 2 seasons. It's being released. The next 3 episodes come out on Saturday. But I recommend it. Definitely, if you find something you're like, you know what,
Netflix
I need to watch.
Didn't drop all the episodes at once?
Netflix doesn't do that shit anymore, bro. They do these parts now. They release series in certain parts. So Stranger Things, as an example, season 4 was released in 2 parts. There's a rumor right now that season 5 will be released in 3 parts. So they release 3 to 4 episodes at a time. I'm not a fan of it, but again, I also am the person that will also watch week to week, but these 3 episodes of an hour and a half, just, man. And I've got the soundtrack on my phone, and it's almost on repeat.
Just not gonna work for me.
It's just too good. So I'll take my 3 episodes out a week, enjoy it while it lasts. But this is the last season of Arcane. There will only be 2 seasons. Great watching, great storytelling. I can't recommend it. 10 out of 10 series.
Okay. I think I'm halfway through Rings of Power.
Okay. I still need to watch the finale. That's on my to-do list, but I know the finale is supposed to be phenomenal.
Pretty good. Still pretty good.
You're in season 2 now, right? You finished season 1? Okay.
Yeah, I watched season 1 originally. I just rewatched it to see if I liked it better. Which I did the second time.
Fair enough. I mean, if I remember right, when we were talking about it last year, or a couple of years ago, House of the Dragon and Rings of Power were coming out at the same time, and season 1 of House of the Dragon was unparalleled. I mean, when you're trying to compare it, it's untouchable. However, the hands did change for the seasons 2 because House of the Dragon season 2 just sucked and Rings of Power just rocked. They really touched on a lot of things. I loved that they really went for we're making the rings and this is where we're going, and how Pinky, I'm not sure how far you've gotten in the series yet, but has the Celebrimbor's friend showed up yet? Have you seen that?
No, not yet.
Okay, then I won't
not yet.
I won't expand on that any further because I want you to be ready for that. However, I really hope from what I do know of how Rings of Power wraps, that they continue to use Celebrimbor for what he is meant for in season 3. And Pinky, I know you don't know what that really means. It parallels Robb Stark, and I will leave it at that.
Well, okay. I am excited about Red 1 coming out this weekend. Might take my daughter
the
to
Christmas
that.
movie. That's right. I forgot about that.
And then Gladiator next week. Should be fun.
I'm excited. It'll be fun. I have some history. I have some history problems with it. It currently is sitting at a 77% on the tomato meter. And that says a lot already to me. I personally think it's an unnecessary sequel. We didn't need it, nor did anybody ask for it, but we're getting it. I hope it's as good as everybody is hoping. I really do. But I'm indifferent on it. I will go see it. I will probably see it opening weekend and will come home with a popcorn bucket or 2. But I mean, it doesn't really do much for me as a movie.
We'll see.
There's other movies I'm looking forward to that are coming out this year.
We do have
that has my attention.
On the sports slate, kind of shifting gears a little bit. On the sports slate, we do have Jake Paul and Mike Tyson Friday night.
Let's go.
That should be exciting. Ready for that? Ready?
I mean, that's just a money grab anyway. But
right.
I mean,
totally.
Jake Paul's got that. I think he's gonna.
Anytime a 30-year-old dude's fighting a 58-year-old dude, it's definitely a money grab.
Straight up.
Like, that's just an easy one. But Mike Tyson needed some money, probably. Why not?
Oh, real quick, last thing about nonsense before we touch into the deep delve of sports. I did watch Joker 2, solid C+.
You had to stop the show for that, Robert?
I'm sorry. I just had to let you know because we could talk about it later at some point, but I did watch that and I was disappointed.
I mean, you were saying you were going to watch it, so I actually think it got you. It got you.
I ended up getting into it because my best friend was like, I need you to watch this. And I'm like, fine.
Okay, well, I guess for a friend. If a friend is going to make you punish your eyes, then I guess, I can't say anything bad about that. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson should be fun. I do expect Jake Paul to probably win that, but it should be fun. We also have UFC 309. We finally have
what is that?
John Jones. It's Saturday night. We're supposed to be going to the bar with Caleb, if you don't remember.
I don't, but I'll be there.
He already put it out in the thing. He's got a pass for the night.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll be there then.
John Jones is fighting Stipe Miocic. God, this fight's like 2 years in the making. Stipe hasn't fought in like 2.5, 3 years. So I'm
sure.
And I love Stipe.
Who's Stipe again?
He used to be heavyweight champ for a long time.
Okay.
He's also a current Cleveland firefighter as well.
This is 309, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The whole time he's been fighting the UFC, he has been a firefighter. Like, that's badass.
That is pretty dope. Respect.
So, I respect him. I got to meet him at the draft in Cleveland, so that was cool.
Okay, a couple years ago.
Yeah, so I root for Stipe, and he's been a great heavyweight fighter for a long time. This fight's been in the making for a long time. It's finally going to happen. It's crazy to think it's been so long since he's fought. So I don't. It's been a long time since John Jones has fought. So I'm kind of curious how this is gonna run down. I think there's some other good fights on that. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah. So let's see. Main event is Stipe Jones. Co-main is Oliveira Chandler.
Yes, that's
middleweight.
That's a good fight, man. Chandler is scrappy. He has been off because he was waiting for that McGregor fight for so long, so he hasn't fought in a while. Oliveira can beat you, with his jiu-jitsu, with his grappling, with his striking. So this should be a really fun fight.
Next. We got Bo Nickel, Paul Craig for the middleweight fight.
This is Bo Nickel's biggest opponent yet. Craig can knock you out. So this should be a really fun fight.
Vivian Arahujo. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And Karine Silva will be the female fight for the night. And then we have Mauricio Ruffy and James Eontop, I'm guessing. Double L's, Ontop. Eontop.
I don't know nothing about that, but it's always good to be on top from what I understand.
I mean, from what I've gathered, yes.
We
can put it to a vote later.
I don't know. Some guys like to do the work, some don't. You know, you never know.
Everybody to each their own. Amen to that.
No judgments here. No judgments here. Yeah, those the top 3 fights are the ones I'm really excited for. So that should be a really great time. And the wife's out of town. I might get a little crazy on that night. Who knows?
Am I about to be your person for the evening?
Are you saying you're going to have to babysit?
No, I'll just be your driver.
I'm not maybe
babysitting you.
Maybe.
I'll drive you, but I won't babysit you. That's your own problem.
That's fair. I'll be good. It's hard to get drunk off of, $4 Dos Equis.
I don't disagree with you. It's
really hard. So, I'm excited for that coming out this Saturday. And then I think that's the biggest thing coming up. We'll talk NFL games.
So let's talk some NBA real quick.
Oh.
Dude, Joker, throwing it down, man.
You're leading me right where I wanted to go. So let me finish.
Joker's untouchable.
What he is doing, like a guy who's already won 3 MVPs out of 4 years, you could actually say this year he's even better than those years so far. And it's only 10 games, so there's time to come back down to the mean. But that's why I got my Joker jersey on tonight. 15. The guy's just been amazing, and
it's been cool to watch.
His stat lines are so great, but when you look at, he's averaging a triple-double. He's got multiple games now with 10 to 15 assists. To score 30-some points and then still get 10 to 15 assists means you are truly getting your team involved. Like, you're getting everyone around you involved. And if did you listen to that link I sent earlier?
I listened to about 2.5 minutes. I haven't been able to finish it.
So I just like just a couple guys talking ball, just talking how unassuming Joker is. He's the old white guy at the gym that pulls up and you're like, nah, man, I'm not going to pick that guy. And then he just is unstoppable and you can't do anything.
And you're like, fuck, I should have picked that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Joker is. But they were just like, his basketball IQ is so high and he can get everybody involved. He's like, all the American players, they're like, they can't touch Joker because again, they're athletic and they can score. They can do some one-on-one, but they can't get everybody involved and they don't have a well-rounded game. That's what that's where Joker's at. He's got a really well-rounded game that he can do everything. So,
dude, he's a team player, and I love seeing it.
The last 2 seasons, he hasn't got a lot of credit for it, but his defense has definitely improved. Like, he has stepped up on the defensive end of the floor, and that's a big deal.
I mean, you can speak to more of that than I could because, I mean, as much as Caleb is not here, he will absolutely attest to the fact that I know about basketball.
I mean,
so I'm learning. It's a work in progress. But it from what I can tell and have read and seen, that is a common consensus. And starting to pay more attention to it now that we are in a fantasy basketball league, which I never had thought about I would be in.
So bad at that.
I'm about to beat your ass this week, motherfucker.
Man, you just throwing out that R rating from the get-go.
Hey, you talk mad trash about fantasy football. If I can have one shred of a win, I'm going to talk all the trash I can.
My team was so good last year because I had a lot of solid players, and then I had Joker, and my team dominated. I lost in the playoffs, but like until the playoffs, I only lost like 2 weeks
I mean,
the entire season. So
do not get me wrong. The percentage is still in your favor. It's still a toss up. But I'm gonna talk all the trash that I can.
it'll be close. We'll see. I don't like my team this year, but it is what it is.
I mean,
But it's the first start to again.
it's the first 3 weeks. We're only in week 3.
As you
Week
learn
4.
more about the players, because you'll see the players on your team, you'll see the players on your opponent's team. It may cause you to watch some highlights here and there. That's tip, since we don't get to watch all the Nuggets games based on the blackouts. I'll usually pull up the highlights after the game. It's like a 9-minute video. Watch the highlights. If Steph Curry goes off, I'll throw his highlights on to see what happened in their game. Like what.
I mean, I'm definitely paying more attention to the. I'm paying more attention to the players, not necessarily what's happening. And I say that as I'm reviewing my current situation, and I had a couple players go off tonight, so I'm locking them in.
Lock it in.
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm appreciating it. It's definitely got my attention. It's definitely something that I'm already like, crap.
NBA,
football's ending in like 8 weeks. I got to make a transition here and get excited about something else. So, this is what we got.
NBA Cup starts tonight.
Yes, and that's up for grabs for just about everybody from what I was seeing from the.
So it's just a in-season tournament.
Everybody
can win?
Is it in the States or is it held somewhere special?
It's held. It's held in the States at everybody's stuff, everybody's courts, but they do special courts for the Cup games, so that's really cool.
Chief, we'll get there later, but that was luck. I have nothing nice to say about this game.
It's not exactly luck. It's good coaching. I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due. We'll get there. We're not there yet. We're still talking NBA. So
anyway, but I do have a question. Though so far from everything is Doncic. What are your thoughts on him? I know you're pretty hot on him last season. What are your thoughts about him so far? Kind of where he's headed. What are you hoping to see?
I like Luka a lot, but I think Luka is very volume dependent. He's got to go through it. He's got to have the ball go through him at all times. I do like when he's being a distributor, when he's actually like moving the ball around instead of in the playoffs, man. It was just like it was Luka. And that he would not give the ball up. And I think that's to his detriment. When you're such a good scorer and you can score it at will, it's really everybody's going to really try to stop you. It gives you the ability to be a distributor to other players and make them better. I think that would take Luka to the next level because he's got everything else. The guy can rebound. He can pass. He's not quite as good a passer as Joker, but he's definitely a good passer. And he can shoot lights out, man. He can shoot from anywhere on the court. And when he's hot, you can have a hand right in his face, and it doesn't matter. He's still going to knock it down. There you go. Good job. But yeah, Luka's the guy. Luka's the guy. Like I think the league wants to give Luka the MVP. But
I mean, sure, but is he deserving of it?
By the end of the season, he should be in the conversation. He was the last 2 seasons.
Well, yeah, but Joker's just put on a lights out show each time, so I feel like it's a hard argument to make right now.
Last season, there was a good chance if you gave it to Luka or you gave it to Shea, at least there was a honest conversation because they finished strong. Those 2 guys were definitely deserving to be in the top 3. How Joker impacts the entire game, I still give it to him, but I'm biased, right? I'm a big Joker fan.
Well, I mean, I
want to get a Joker
Nuggets fan.
I think I want to get a big Joker tattoo on my calf of him doing the Sombor shuffle.
I mean,
with the Joker makeup on his face, So
Sure.
I think
That'd be cool. Like, are you talking Heath Ledger Joker?
I think
Joker makeup.
yeah.
Dope.
Heath Ledger Joker makeup on him with a Nuggets jersey, doing the somber shuffle, and I think that would be really cool. It's funny being in New Orleans this weekend. Everybody was commenting on my tattoos. I got a lot of compliments on my tattoos, so that was cool because they're all sports related for the most part. Yeah, Luka's up there, Shea's up there, Jason Tatum is up there. Now that he got a title, if he plays really well again this year, and they're one of the top teams, you're probably going to see him pretty high. I think he was 4th or 5th in the voting last season. I think he would be up there again this year. So we will see where we get there. But so far the Mavs are playing pretty good. Again, everybody's still kind of feeling each other out. The story to talk about right now in the NBA is the Cavs. You know why, Robert?
I do not. I can't say I've kept up with it.
The Cavs are 12-0.
Okay.
Now, my son is a Nuggets/Cavs fan because he does.
What is it with your son in Cleveland? I don't understand.
He went there once, man. So,
dude,
no,
I went to Seattle once.
Go
see me supporting the Seahawks.
Like his eighth grade freshman or 8th grade football coach and math teacher was a big Browns fan. So then he became a Browns fan, and then he's just kind of like adopted Cleveland sports as well. So he roots for Ohio State too. Ohio State and Oregon are the two like kind of college football teams he roots for.
At least it's not Michigan.
Oh, it's weird, but he's
been a Browns. It's not Michigan.
He's been a Browns fan since they went 0-16. He has kept that loyalty to the team, even though they've been really bad, especially this year. I appreciate that about him. Like he is still loyal to that team. I think he would still root for the Nuggets if the Nuggets and Cavs were playing in the finals together. I think he'd still root for the Nuggets, but I think he'd be happy for the Cavs too. But that's the real storyline so far this season. The Cavs are 12-0. They haven't played anybody tough yet, so it's kind of like, okay, are they a real 12-0? They did go on a stretch last season, if I remember right, that they won like 27 of 30 games or something like that. So they went on a really nice stretch last year too, at the beginning of the season. So I'm not like overly surprised or shocked, but they haven't played the Celtics. I don't think that they may have played the Knicks, maybe. In the East right now, the Celtics are like the team. Like you go and put a whooping on the Celtics, all right, I'm gonna start giving you some flowers. But they haven't done that yet, so we'll see when that time comes. But that's a cool storyline. I do like Donovan Mitchell. I do enjoy Cleveland being better after LeBron left them high and dry again. He's left them high and dry twice. That's gotta suck as a Cleveland fan, especially since he's from Cleveland,
right? Or
Akron, I guess, but close enough. So we'll see.
Although I did find out this evening why the New York Knicks are called the New York Knicks, and I thought that was pretty cool.
The Knickerbockers?
Yeah, dude. I wish those pants were still in style. I'd wear one.
I mean, you can.
But it's frowned upon in today's society, Pinky, so no.
Hey, you do you, boo. You do you. I will never fault I'll never fault you for that. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Clay's return to the Bay. I'm more. I guess that's an interesting. The Warriors being as good as they're playing this year so far is actually a pretty good storyline. I guess I would say as well.
Even with Steph's injury in the first 2 games.
I mean, he's been playing though.
No, he hasn't. Yeah. He missed like a game or 2.
Well, for the most part, he's been playing this season, though.
I have him, Pinky. I've been paying attention. It matters.
He's been playing most of the year so far, and they've been playing well. So, there's that. I think that's basketball. I mean, of course, we'll get more and more.
I don't have anything left from basketball unless anybody else wants to tune in.
I mean, we can't say
Uh,
college basketball just started.
Caleb did say just a few moments ago that Clay's return to the Bay tonight.
Right.
So.
Right. I saw his message. That's why I commented on it, because
Okay.
I figured he'd want us to do that. But I don't find that to be a big storyline for me. Clay was great. He got hurt. They moved on. Such is life, unfortunately. So, college hoops. KU's number one. Rock chalk, baby. Rock chalk. I don't like Kansas starting in the season number one because there's only one way to go. Down.
I mean,
they won't. They're gonna probably. They should definitely be a top 10 team this year. They've got most of their returning starters from last season, except for they lost their freshman, Furphy. They lost Furphy to the NBA draft, but everybody else stayed. So they should still be pretty good. They should end up as one of the top teams, which is awesome. But college basketball is really not exciting until March Madness. So
hey, Michigan State came in with freaking 6 this evening to the number 1 in the country. I'll take it. I thought we were going to be Caleb's favorite word, dominated, which, we'll get to that later. I thought we were going to be decimated and just trucked. But to come in within 6 points of the number 1, I was super happy. I knew it was going to be a loss. I didn't expect it to be tied at the second half with 9 minutes left. Enjoyed the game. Hell of a game. Played to the very end. I'm happy. It was cool. That's all I have to say about college basketball.
Okay. College football. No,
Indiana's running right now in the Big Ten. It's insane. They beat Michigan. I wasn't expecting that. I'll be honest.
Michigan's been awful.
I'm happy Michigan's been awful. I'm disappointed that Michigan State couldn't capitalize on it a couple weeks ago, but that's my own personal feelings. But Indiana's trucking. It's great. I'm rooting for them. They've got my vote. I want them to go the distance. Otherwise, I mean, Pinky, I know you're heartbroken that Miami just got decimated.
So I was out partying, so I did not pay attention to the game. But yeah, I was a little sad to see the Hurricanes lost.
Dude, Florida as a state until last night went 0 for 11 on sports teams. 0 and 11.
The Georgia Tech, I think they started the season surprising Florida State. They're the team that beat them overseas. And so they've got good football in them. And they ran the football down Miami's throat, which is Miami's issue. Kudos to them. They ran the ball 23, 29, 35, 38, 41, 45, 46 times. They ran the ball 46 times. If you are not great against the run, that's gonna bite you in the ass. So, all right. Enough sadness. We did have Alabama wax that ass, LSU. Being in New Orleans this weekend, everybody was wearing Alabama, Georgia, LSU gear, or Atlanta Falcon gear, and NOLA. That's all. I saw that in
I don't know what else you would come to expect there, Pink. It is kind of a clear favorite.
I was in the deep south.
Yeah, bro.
So,
nothing else exists.
Alabama
Period.
Just put it on them. My buddy Jay got to go to the tailgate there for the game. Had a blast. Had a great time. Got to see the Tiger. The LSU tailgate is voted as the number 1 tailgate in the country. So he definitely got to experience some stuff that seemed pretty cool. Let's see. Everybody else whacked.
Yes, no, everybody else waxed. I would say there was a hot take that was given to me today from somebody at work that Tennessee is going to make it to the semifinals in the CFP. I know you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Right. I mean, they're 8-1. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I think they still have to play the SEC championship game if they get there. We'll see. We'll see.
But what about Army?
Army, if they stay undefeated, will get a bid into the playoffs.
You think?
I do. I do think that they'll get a bid. Because I think there's 2 open bids that they could grab one of those if they go undefeated, if they run the table. Ohio State whacks, Texas whack, Georgia losing. All right. Georgia, it's time to go find yourself a quarterback. Carson Beck is not it. Somehow he got like he was okay last year. He's god awful this year. He is bad. So Georgia will be on the outside looking in come playoff time, I think. I think it's going to be tough for them to make a case. We'll see.
And shout out at Bill, but what is, the Seminoles going to do now?
Who cares?
Dude, Florida State is
fuck the Seminoles,
bad, bro.
We don't talk about those guys on here.
Listen, Mr. Hurricane, man, it's worth talking about.
We're talking how they went from like really good last year to pretty awful this year, like worst team in the country.
They've been consistently good. Don't discredit where credit's due. They've been consistently good.
I mean, they were undefeated last year until the bowl game.
I mean, they got trucked, and rightfully so, but we all saw that coming from a mile away.
And now they suck. So
they do.
And I love it. So I think that's about it for college football.
There's not much left to talk about. Is there any hockey? I haven't been watching any hockey.
Avs are back to 500. They're 8-8.
How's the goalkeeper looking? I know that was a concern.
Better. They have officially Justus Anunin is kind of the starter now, with Georgie still the backup.
And I forget, why is Georgie now the backup?
Because the dude let like 6 goals a game in for like the first 3 games of the season.
Understood.
So he kind of went blind. He's getting better. Now the coach still says that the play in front of him was not great, so that he wasn't blaming him entirely. And we had a couple defensemen out, and we weren't playing really great hockey, so that could be the case. Georgie did win last night. He only gave up 2 goals last night, and he got the win last night. So Avs back to 8-8. I don't know if anybody is dominating. I probably would have to check with Cody on that, but hockey's just getting going too. They're in their first, 18 games. Looks like the Hurricanes are 11-3, but they lost one of their games to the Avs. Panthers are 11-3. The Winnipeg Jets right now are 15-1, so I guess that's the team to be eyeing at the moment.
Sure. That was where the nearest McDonald's was for me when I lived in North Dakota. So go Winnipeg.
They've won 7 straight. Right.
Good for them.
So the Panthers have won 7 straight as well. So we've got, again, hockey, just like basketball, it's kind of a long season. As we get past football season, then things kind of come into focus of, really who the good teams are. So Fair enough. Won't make Winnipeg was a good team last year, so I would, it's not shocking that they're a pretty good team this year.
Did they get in the playoffs last year, or did they miss it just by a bit?
They got in and they got beat by the Avs round 1.
Okay, I couldn't remember for sure.
So we'll see. The storyline at the moment is Alex Ovechkin is on a tear. And it's got people wondering if he stays on the pace, he could catch Gretzky. That's kind of the storyline right now.
Do you have any idea how many times I've heard that in the last 3 years? It's insane.
Well, we don't have to worry about the last 3 years. We can just worry about he's
year in
on
front of
pace
us?
right now to do it
Sure.
at the moment. Now, I think again, it's hard to keep that pace. So we'll see. I know they've got the watch on. Let's see. Trying to see if they've got it pulled up the goal tracker. He's 31 goals away based on what he's done so far this season. So it's within reach. We've got a lot of months. I think we don't start the playoffs in hockey till April or May.
Easily.
So
because they're usually right in line with the NBA playoffs.
He's got time. So we'll see. Oh, excuse me. All right, NFL talk. Let's see.
I'll let you start this. Well, I guess we should talk the Thursday game.
That was a hell of a game.
That was a great fucking game.
Bengals and Ravens. We got to watch that game at the Airbnb. We decided to just chill that night, and we relaxed and watched the game, and it was awesome.
Shout out Aaron. Awesome. If Joe Burrow didn't do half of what he did, you wouldn't have beat me this week. That's all I have to say.
You lost to a girl.
Listen, Pingy, I don't have to deal with that crap, all right? I'm still in contention. That was one loss. It's fine. I'll manage.
You lost to a girl.
Shut up. I'll take the loss to Aaron respectfully. Joe Burrow went off and he deserves his flowers, but I'm so upset about it.
Joe Burrow.
I'm so upset about it.
Joe Burrow had her very happy. If you had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, or Lamar,
60 points.
You were doing pretty good.
60 points.
So
that's all I have to say is 60 points. At Andy, I know you're listening, so make sure you pass that along.
Yeah, don't at me, bro. Don't at me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a great game. The way the Bengals played in that game, I'm just like, man, they still could challenge for a playoff spot.
They gotta do some work though.
They really knew that game, and I felt like that 2-point conversion play call was garbage.
It was awful.
That was garbage. Like
that was not the move.
They could have called a much better play than that.
That was not
for
the
sure.
move.
Like, I mean, you just, hey Jamar, I'm just gonna throw this shit up to you. Like
yeah.
Have him jump up and go get it. Like that's a better play call.
Not really
than what they ran. So kudos to the Ravens though. Like they're really kind of coming into form. Their defense is not great, but that offense is moving. It is moving, and they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough as long as Derrick Henry's healthy. That's going to be a tough team to deal with.
They're going to be a beast.
So
absolute beast.
Hats off to the Ravens. Let's see, where do we want to go?
I mean, from there, I guess it would be a good transition to the, what Mike Tomlin was talking about is, take it slow when you're talking about Lamar Jackson. I mean, I forget what the exact comparison was, but overall,
they're comparing Jaden Daniels to Lamar Jackson,
and that's kind of what I thought, but I was a little hesitant on it. But I guess I can understand it to a point, but I don't quite see that. And because Lamar is in his own category, personally, I don't see a lot of similarities, and I could be wrong, but Lamar is just an alien.
Jaden is a better thrower in the pocket as he's starting his NFL career than Lamar was. Lamar has gotten better every year throwing the ball. Caleb has been preaching that for years. So you're right about some things, Caleb. It happens.
Oh man, we got to give this guy his flowers instead of making him eat crow. Son of a bitch.
Sometimes that happens.
Love you, Caleb. Just kidding, man. Wish you were here, buddy.
Jaden Daniels' play recently has come down some, which could be there's more game film on him now. on what he does well, what he doesn't do well. I think he'll be fine in the long run. I think Jaden's still going to be an amazing player, but his play recently has not been great. Now, they still did have the lead going into the fourth quarter. Russell Wilson had to throw a moon ball to someone. Mike Williams. Threw a moon ball to Mike Williams to basically win the game. So I'm still confused on where this Russell Wilson was for Denver, because he's almost played better in the 3 games for the Steelers than he played for Denver the whole time.
I don't want to talk about it.
So,
I still want Russell Wilson to fail.
I don't wish ill will on Russ. Russ be Russ. Have fun. I still feel like the Steelers are fool's gold. They haven't played anybody yet. They have their first big test this weekend. They play the Ravens. So
is it in Baltimore or in Pittsburgh? Should be in Baltimore, I think, because they played the last 2 at home.
They're in Pittsburgh.
Man, 3 at home, 3 straight. Okay,
they're in Pittsburgh. So, but kudos to the Steelers. They are 7-2. They do have a touch from here on out. They play their whole 6 division games, and then they've got another game. They've got 2 outside division games. They've got 6 division games out of their 8 games left. So we will see where they stand after those 8 games. It's going to be tough, but I'd be shocked if they're not in the wild card conversation. I don't think they're winning the division. I think the Ravens are going to end up taking the division, but we'll see this weekend. That's going to be that's a big matchup. I'm excited to watch that one for sure. We had the Bills rolling the Colts. Not much to say there. Nope. I think the Bills are a fantastic team. They're 8-2. I think they've kind of figured out who they are. And the Colts, unfortunately, they made this move to Joe Flacco, and he has just been bad. He has been bad. And if you're going to get bad Joe Flacco, you might as well play Anthony Richardson. At least he gets to learn more and take more snaps. That's what the kid needs. So if you're getting bad play out of Joe Flacco, just play Anthony Richardson. Like, there's no reason to play Flacco at this point if he keeps playing bad.
I mean, I don't know. Do you see the Colts ever going back at this point?
They have.
Or are they going to stick with Flacco?
No, I think they'll go back. I mean, he threw 3 picks. If he doesn't throw 3 picks, they might have actually been like right there with the Bills in the fourth quarter. He threw 3 picks and was sacked 4 times.
I mean, Jared Goff threw 5.
Right. But the Texans couldn't capitalize. The Bills are a team. If you throw 3 picks to the Bills, they're going to capitalize. Like, that's just how it's going to work. You throw 3 picks to the Ravens, they're going to capitalize, right? Teams with good offenses are going to capitalize when you turn the ball over to them. That's what happens. Your margin for error against those teams are very slim. You do not have the ability to turn the ball over. Turning the ball over is the great equalizer in football. Vikings, Jags. I was kind of shocked the Vikings only put up 12 points. That's just gross. To a Mac Jones Jaguars team, the Vikings only put up 12 points. And the Jaguars defense isn't all that. Caleb Williams and the Bears shredded them for over 30 points. Like, this game made no sense. I didn't get to watch it. I was just kind of seeing the score. So I don't know the in and outs of how that game played out, but to only win 12-7 is pretty gross. Cowboys get rolled by the Eagles. Just rolled.
Dude, let's just talk about that for a second. One, Pinky, did you actually get to watch the video of CeeDee Lamb missing that touchdown catch?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
but it's believable to a point, but unbelievable.
I mean, that stadium's been there for quite a while now. That sun shining through has not been. It's not a new thing. I think it's just because of how bad they are that it gets multiplied. That's why we're talking about it. Because that's not new. This stadium's like 10 or 15 years old at this point. So
I know it's been there for a while.
It's been there for a while. I think 2010. I think maybe sooner. I don't know. 2012 maybe.
Let's see.
But yeah, see when that was built. I know Eli Manning played the first game there because then he put he wrote something and put a signature on the wall in the visitors' locker room. They beat the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
It was completed the 27th of May of 2009, so you were close.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, memory.
So 15 years.
Cowboys being so bad this year. I mean, I kind of if you're a Cowboy, I mean, what do you even do? You just paid Dak $60 million a year. You going to really draft the quarterback?
Honestly,
you might want to.
Well, there was talks about Dion and Shador going together to Dallas. I don't buy it for a second.
Dion's never coaching in the NFL.
I don't see him.
Dion will never coach in the NFL. I do believe Dion is a man of his word. And he has said he would not coach in the NFL because he doesn't want to have to deal with the spoiled, money-grubbing grown men. He'd rather deal with trying to teach young men how to become great young men.
Absolutely.
Or something of that nature. So I don't see Dion ever coaching the NFL. Everybody keeps talking about it. I don't see it happening. I just don't. So he still has a younger son as well that's probably going to come and play ball. I just don't see him. I see Dion going, I'm going to help my sons get to the best place they can get to in the NFL, and I'm going to enjoy watching them. I don't think he wants to take on the problem of 53 grown men. Because I think Dion likes things his way. And you really can't be a coach like that in the NFL these days.
Not at all.
There's a few of them out there. Sean Payton is still like that. Mike Tomlin's kind of like that to a point. Again, the total I can't even say it right. Like the dictators
of the totalitarianism.
NFL, that's what I was going to go for. A lot of those guys aren't coaching anymore. So, yeah, I don't see that happening. But Dallas is in a tough spot. You just paid CD. You paid Dak. You're going to wait and pay Micah more than you really should because you waited too long to pay him. And what are you going to do, right? They have quite a bit of holes. Their depth is an issue. They're in a tough spot. They're in a tough spot. I hope, and Cowboys fans aren't used to this. I hope you're ready for like a 4-13 season.
Yikes!
Like they're not they weren't playing great with Dak. They're definitely not going to play well with Cooper Rush or
dude. He looked like
Trey Lance.
Like garbage. Cooper Rush did not look good, dude.
And the Eagles' defense really isn't that good right now.
No,
they're okay. They're probably maybe top 16, 17. It's not awful, but they're not great. So, Cowboys Nation, be ready. This is your year that you're going to suck really bad, which might be all right. Maybe you get a top. Ashton Genty, come on down. You've got you're a Cowboy. Last time they drafted a running back that high, they got Ezekiel Elliott. That worked out well for him. So,
you're not wrong.
Maybe that'll happen again. Eagles. Everybody's probably shocked that the Eagles are 7-2.
I'm not shocked.
If you think about it, though, a lot of people have not thought the Eagles to be a good team this year. And then you look and you're like, For
Well, I
a team
mean,
that's
what?
not good, they're 7-2.
How many did they lose straight last season? Like 9 or 10?
No, they were 10-0. I think they finished 11-6 or 11-6.
Despicable.
Right. They fell apart last season. Absolutely true. That has led into this year where people are down on the Eagles. They're not really giving them credit. They've found ways to win. And if you look at it, you're like, well, the Eagles are 7-2. How'd that happen? Like, I was thinking about, I was like, the way that the media has talked about the Eagles, they shouldn't be 7-2, but they are. So kudos to them. Cardinals laid the smackdown, and probably the Jets aren't like, we can't bury them yet, but get the shovels out.
The media's burying them.
Get that first couple.
It's
feet.
bad, bro.
They lose one more.
The
They're
Jets are bad.
They are not great.
They've got. I mean, if they, like you said, if they lose one more, they have so much dead money right now. It's insane. Aaron Rodgers is not coming to play, and it's showing.
Well, I love A-Rod. I do. When you're a 39-year-old quarterback who can't move real great, and the way that Aaron Rodgers throws the ball, he doesn't get the ball out of his hands quick. He's always let the plays develop. You got to be able to block for him. That O-line can't block for him. The play calling's garbage too, on top of it. So there's so much that's compounded. If that O-line could give him a consistent pocket, they'd probably be all right. But they can't. Oh, my man. There's Chris. We haven't seen
What
Chris
up,
in
Chris?
a minute. Oh. Let's see what else we got.
Let's just go ahead and rip off.
Cardinals and no, we're not doing that yet. Cardinals and Kyler, keep rolling, man. Keep rolling. I like that they're playing well. They're competitive. They're fun to watch, man. They're fun to watch. So.
I'm loving Harrison. I'm loving that. I'm loving the Cardinals right now. They're great. I was really disappointed when Kyler Murray got injured a couple of years ago. And they just haven't really seemed to have gained a step back. This year, they really seem to be moving forward. And I'm liking it a lot.
Let's see. Caleb Williams got destroyed by the Patriots. Destroyed. Drake May, not bad. Drake May, not bad. He's doing his thing. So Patriots might have got their guy. Chargers rolled again. They beat the Titans.
That was a fun game.
If you look at the Chargers wins and what quarterback was playing, they could be fool's gold. They could be fool's gold. I mean, just look at it. Pull up their schedule. I saw this. I don't remember who was watching. It may have been Rich Eisen. Yeah, we just talked about that, Chris. Cowboys are absolutely dumpster fire. I feel bad because some of my best friends are Cowboys fans. For all of the loudmouth Cowboys fans, I'm loving it. For my buddies who are Cowboys fans who have always kept it real, I feel bad for them.
So the Chargers play the Bengals, the Ravens.
They play Joey B.
Falcons, Chiefs. Those are the next four.
No, so not the next four. Who have they played so far?
Oh, so far. Excuse me. Let's see. Panthers.
So that was Bryce Young.
Steelers.
That was Justin Fields.
They lost the Chiefs.
They lost Mahomes.
They beat the Broncos. They lost to the Cardinals.
They played a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. They lost to Kyler Murray.
They beat the Saints.
They lost to they beat Spencer Rattler.
They beat the Browns.
They beat Jameis Winston. And then they beat Will Levis. So not a lot of quality wins on that list right now at the moment.
The next four are the challenge. They play again: Bengals, Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs.
We will know a lot more about the Chargers.
Lions v. Rams Super Bowl. I think it'll be Lions v. Chiefs. Chris, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I hate the Chiefs three-peat, bro. I hate it more than I can possibly explain, but I think that's what it's going to be.
So Chris, I'm going to say it right now. The Lions do not want to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
No,
They are praying. The Lions want the Chiefs or the Bills. They do not want the Ravens.
How disappointing it would it be as a Bills fan?
The Ravens would, at this moment, I feel like the Ravens would whoop that ass. I do think the Lions would beat the Chiefs. The Bills, maybe. Depends on what version of the Bills we get. But the Lions do not want to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Pinky, was that a cat that was just behind you? Okay.
Yeah. Stashy wanted to get on camera.
I hear it.
I might have to take you out of here. I thought I locked the door. Hold on, Robert. Carry the pod.
Yeah, you're good. So I would agree there. The Ravens getting hot. Lions can't answer it, especially after the Lions' ugly win. That was awful. I can't think of a win that I actually thought was going to be a loss, and I turned the game off. If the Lions go to the Ravens in the Super Bowl, it's done. Ravens will stuff it down their throat, and the Lions can't answer it. The Lions fell apart on Monday night, and I can't, or Sunday night, excuse me, and I can't tell you why. It was awful. Awful.
But they won the game.
They did. They pulled it off. Thank you, Bates. Brick salesman Bates. Let's get it.
And as we've talked a lot the last 24 hours, Robert, the great teams know how to win.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean they're dominant, but it does mean they know how to win.
Dominance is control. Sure. Winning is a form of dominance, but you're not
It's like a trait. It's a trait of dominance. And they
Amen to that. Amen to that.
They have found some ways to win that they shouldn't have won.
And
they did that last year, and they did this year.
And this year so far, I mean, when you look at the Lions' games, they're crushing. Mostly. I mean, they are controlling and just owning the game. I mean, that the loss to the Buccaneers definitely set a fire under them, and they're just ready. They are a team to reckon with. They are a unit. It's not a Amon-Ra show or a Montgomery or a Goff show or anything like that. They are a team. They own each other. They're there for each other. And
they have a lot.
It's a brotherhood, and it's great to watch.
It's got a lot of weapons, a lot of guys doing their part to help. The Lions, at this point, I'd be shocked if the Lions don't win the NFC. Like as the number, they're going to win the number one seed. Games, the playoffs are going to run through Detroit, and it's going to be tough. But 49ers aren't dead. I think the 49ers are still going to make some noise. We're going to see what happens.
Hang on real quick, Pinky. There's some Broncos changes. Denver Broncos assistant head coach Mike Westhoff has resigned from the team because of health concerns.
Right. He was just an assistant, though, at this point. So, all right. Now we'll talk Broncos Chiefs. And
I'll let you go ahead and open that up.
I mean, well, I was like, okay, the Broncos should have a chance to win in KC. Like, I think the line was like,
nah,
it's like what, 7? I was like, take the Broncos. Like, I just feel like the Broncos have played the Chiefs well the last few years, and the Chiefs offense is not amazing. I think the Broncos defense holds up. But anytime you play an Arrowhead's a tough place to play. It just is. And so I wasn't expecting the Broncos win, but I wasn't expecting this either, where they really kept it close throughout. The Chiefs are a winner. That's what they do. They win. They find ways to win. The blocked field goal is not luck. Unfortunately, the Broncos backup center who plays on the field goal team had been knocked on his ass
Yeah, I watched that replay several times.
like 5 or 6 times in the Panthers game and the Ravens game. So the Chiefs knew he was the weak link, and they knew to bum rush him, and that's how they made that happen.
For sure.
Now, if he doesn't get knocked on his ass, then we probably make it and we win. But the one guy not doing his job cost us the win.
Consistently not doing his job.
Now, I could also make the case the Broncos not scoring any points in the second half is also the reason they lost the game. Because, again, when you have the ball and you're still winning against the Chiefs, you got to go score more points. You cannot sit on they had a one until Kansas City kicked the field goal to go up. They were up 14-10, then they were up 14-13, and then again they didn't keep the pressure on Kansas City. You got to keep scoring. You cannot let up. And I didn't get to see the second half, so I don't know bad play calls or was there a penalty that set them back.
I mean, in all honesty, it definitely was a young Broncos team against a decent Kansas City.
The fact that Bo Nix put up 240 yards passing, I was completely blown away. I was like, wait, this defense is awesome. And Bo Nix shredded them for 240 yards? Awesome.
And that's the problem. It is, and I'll die on this hill, and I have no problem doing it. The Denver Broncos, to a T, outplayed the Chiefs. Period. They had answers for a lot of their problems. Now, while they couldn't capitalize on scoring, because the Kansas City defense is that good, they were still able to move the ball.
These are two of the best defenses in the league.
Absolutely. And it blows my mind the fact that Bo Nix marched downfield to get us to field goal range. And it's just can't finish.
You know what hurts the most? That was like going to be Bo Nix's signature win of this season.
Oh, when I was here at the house and I had my phone just palming it. And I called the win. Like, I didn't even need to watch it. Still watching it, and it gets fucking blocked. I threw my phone across the room.
So
I've damaged my cellular device.
I have a completely different experience. So, I'm in the Superdome watching the Saints and Falcons. I'm going to talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm excited. The Saints are winning. The Broncos are driving. And I'm sitting here like pumping my fist every time we got a first down, driving down the field. I see the timeout with a second left, and I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. And the next thing, and I think Hannah's phone, so Hannah was paying attention to it on her phone. Andy was paying attention on his phone. And Coach in front of us was paying attention on his phone. I think Hannah's phone was ahead of all of ours because she said first, oh, my God, they lost. And I was like, and my whole, like, demeanor, my whole attitude, I was so excited because the Saints were winning. I'm cheering the Saints, and we were, like, having a great time. And Hannah and I are laughing at Andy because his field goal kicker, he's playing Hannah in fantasy, and his field goal kicker keeps missing kicks. Like, we're just having a blast. And that just, like, literally sucked all the, like, excitement from me at that exact moment.
It be like that, bro. Like, it happens.
And but I woke up Sunday, and I just went, it's okay. It's okay. Bo Nix is the guy. That guy can run an offense. Yeah, he's had some passes where you're like, whoa, what happened? His feet weren't right. He's going to clean that up. He throws the ball to the right guy. He can read a defense. He's got guys in motion, and he knows where to go with the ball. And this is year 1. Year 2 of the offense, he's going to know it even better. Year 3, he'll know it better. Year 3, we might actually have playmakers.
This is a franchise quarterback, Pomey.
Right. Like, so I'm like, you know what? Cool, man. Like, we lost. That's cool. Like, whatever. All I know is we went toe-to-toe with a rookie quarterback in Arrowhead. And he posted the second highest passer rating of any rookie quarterback in Arrowhead. So,
which, speaking of, it's a good transition, Pinky. Caleb Williams has the lowest completion percentage in 15 years of any NFL quarterback.
do you know what that means?
He sucks.
That's lower than Tim Tebow.
Oh. Ooh.
Now,
And
to be fair, Tim Tebow didn't throw a whole lot. So.
But
Yeah.
Mr. Man coming in saying, hey, you're not going to punt as much this year.
Yeah. Well, again, and our boy Caleb hit this from the start. If he listens to the podcast later,
He's not listening currently.
We'll give him credit. He's always been steadfast. If you can't protect the quarterback, it doesn't matter how many weapons you have on the field.
True.
Now, I do think, and again, I think it depends on the quarterback you have. Caleb Williams in college would hold on to the ball a little while. He always kind of tried to make those big plays. It's hard to get out of that mindset. Mahomes coming into the league, he was always looking to make those big plays. It wasn't until they traded Tyreek Hill that he learned to be a pocket passer and just hit the open guy. And once Mahomes could hit the open guy, it didn't matter how many talented guys he had. He could just hit the open guy.
Absolutely.
So, and he became an even better quarterback than he was. Caleb Williams, unfortunately, has a bad O-line. And he's not at a point now, and the offense wasn't helping, which is why they fired the offensive coordinator. They weren't helping him be able to make quick decisions to get the ball out of his hand because he's got a shitty O-line. They also don't run the ball real well either. Like, if you have a rookie quarterback, the game is moving pretty fast. They still don't know the playbook by the back of their hand. They still don't know where everybody's supposed to be on every single play. They're going to have some mistakes there. They've got coverages they've never seen. They've got defensive players that are faster than anything they played in college. And then you're not running the ball well either. Like, that's tough. He's in a tough spot. So I don't envy him. Back to where we were at. Hanging out in the Superdome. I got to talk a little bit about the game.
Yeah, please. Yeah, no. Let's go. Bring it.
Dude, Falcons fans are fucking crazy. They are crazy.
They're from Atlanta. I don't know what else you expected, Pink.
Bro, I did not expect this level.
Atlanta, I do not mean this in any ill will. Atlanta people are crazy.
The Falcons fans came into town. We ran into them, like I said, on the street. I saw no Saints jerseys. Friday, Saturday. I didn't see a Saints jersey till Sunday. Right? It was Alabama, Georgia, LSU, or Falcons. Those are the jerseys I saw. We ran into these Falcons fans at the Sazerac distillery. We went there and had a tour, and we ran into them. They're in our kind of like, they're walking around at the same time we are. It's it's just your self-guided tour.
Yeah.
And the ladies, they were all dressed up, and I was like, "Oh, you ladies look so great." Talking to them, my wife goes, "Oh, are you guys going to the game?" And they're like, "No, we're just here to create havoc." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That's what they do.
Yes. Those
That's
are
what
my
they
type
do.
of people. Let's go.
So we're at the game,
Create chaos.
and there's Falcons fans.
Controlled chaos.
Falcons fans everywhere.
That's
Everywhere.
awesome.
And every Falcons good play, they're turning around and chirping. Just chirping the whole game. The whole game. Like, I was sitting there like, damn, we're about to see some fights. Like, because when people get talking like that, like, we typically get some fights. So I was ready for some fights. But good on the Saints, man. They fire their coach. They come out and play hard for the interim coach. I don't know how good Atlanta really is. I don't. They could not protect Kirk Cousins. And that O-line was supposed to be pretty good. But multiple times the Saints got pressure on him. Multiple times. And man. But the dome was electric. I will say it's probably the worst. Well, okay. Arrowhead is the worst stadium we've been to. When you talk about just a stadium in general, like its construction.
Well, yeah.
And it's really old. KC is really old. So like it makes sense that it's not a great stadium. It has nothing to do with the fans. The fans in KC are amazing. The atmosphere, the atmosphere is fun, but the stadium itself, it should be fucking bombed and like they need to build a new one. Superdome is awful. Awful as a stadium. It is kind of cool to be in a dome, have the lights kind of dimmed. The lights are dimmed, and then the field is real bright in there. That was cool.
That's cool.
The music was loud, really loud. They would play all the jams, and then but the stairs were way too high. Like you had to do like a full on step, like a big ass step. If you were pre-gaming and tailgating and you were drunk, you were going to get fucked up. Those stairs are going to get you, like without a doubt. And they'll probably get you on the way down because there's no handrail on the left. There's a handrail on the right, but not on the left. It gets you.
No,
so the seats are so small. So small. I'm sitting here like this because I had people next to me on both sides. The couple in front of us have 4 season tickets. There's only 2 of them. Because they know her husband was that big, he took up 2 seats on his own.
Damn.
Also, no cup holders. Who builds a 70,000 seat stadium with no cup holders? I bought 2 drinks to start with. And I got to my seat and there was no cup holders. I didn't buy another drink.
That's actually kind of shitty.
I was like, I'm done drinking now. Like you guys have ruined it for me. Because again, the seats are so close. There's no way to really put it underneath you, and you can't put it behind. Like it. Yeah, the stadium itself, that place sucks. Atmosphere, the fans, that rivalry between the Saints and Falcons was awesome. But yeah, the stadium was a no-go on this one. So
understood. And Seattle's the next on the list.
The wife thinks she wants to do Seattle, so
I'm game for Seattle. I could spend a week there and not get everything done.
I don't know why she picked Seattle, but she's like, we should do Seattle next. I was like, okay, honey, Seattle it is. Let's go. Sell some houses. So I do recommend. I will say, New Orleans is a great place to go if you haven't been there. It's fun.
I need to go now that I'm actually a legal person.
It's a fun city. I probably wouldn't go before January, just because, again, it was still too hot for my wife, even in October or November. She does not do well with humidity or heat. Thankfully, it wasn't really like hot. We didn't see sun. The sun did not come out while we were there. It was overcast every day and raining. So I thought it was fine. Great food, great people. All the people in New Orleans were very friendly. We had some really funny Uber drivers.
I would hope so in New Orleans.
We just had a blast, man. I had Andy and Aaron; they were great. My buddy Sonny was with us. We got to reconnect. That was a lot of fun. Spending time with my wife. Got to see my coach Jay. Unfortunately, he didn't get to do a lot. The story behind that, but what a great time and the friends and memories and it's so great. I do got to complain about one thing. It's a little bit off topic of football, Robert, but it does grind my gears. So I'm so happy Southwest is changing their seat policy. As of next year, it will no longer be like the boarding rows and everything. You're gonna have assigned seats next year.
Yeah, I know that's coming.
So we're in line, and we're talking. It's 5:00 on. I like that Dreamweaver. Give me just a sec. So it's 5:00, and we're standing there, and this guy behind us goes, "Hey, I think we're in front of you." And we're boxed in, it's tight. There's nowhere for me to go at the moment. And I was like, okay. He was like one in front of us, and I was like, if that makes that much difference to you, I will move out of the way once these people start moving. And so people start moving, move out of the way. I let him go in front of us. The lady I thought the lady behind him was with him too, because he was like, you should be behind us. And she's like, no, I'm 54. And we're like, oh, we're 53 and 52. Okay. So we're getting on the plane. The guy's right in front of us. This motherfucker, his wife is already on the plane and already saved him a seat. He moved up one spot to get an assigned seat that was already saved for him. Dude, I almost lost my shit. And I think I'm a pretty chill guy, but I almost was like, are you kidding me that you had to be a dick about one spot and you still had somebody already saving your seat?
That's how it be.
Bro.
But anyway, so Pinky, predictions of the wild card teams in the AFC. Let's hit it.
It's going to be Steelers, Chargers, Broncos.
Broncos aren't doing it, dude.
Look at that schedule. Broncos are doing it.
Wow.
They have to find 5 wins.
I do have to argue with you on Caleb's behalf, but I don't see the Broncos doing it, bro. I love them.
They have to find 5 wins in 7 games.
They lose to the Falcons this Sunday, no question.
Hold on. Falcons just lost to the Saints. It's absolutely a question because the Broncos dominated the Saints, so you can't say that. We kicked the shit out of the Saints. So I don't think you can say that. Now, I know I wasn't Derek Carr. It was Spencer Rattler playing. There is that.
It was.
But we still made that defense look bad. The Falcons struggled with that defense all game. So I don't think you can say that's an actual loss. Will we be shocked if the Falcons win? No. But that's not a guaranteed loss.
Listen, all right. First off, domination. We need to fucking set a standard for this. The Broncos won the game. They did not dominate the Saints. Bo Nix threw for less than 200 yards that game.
The team itself dominated the Saints. Not one player, the team. Start to finish, the Broncos rolled in that game. Defense, offense, special teams. That was a team win. And it was a dominant team win.
It was a Will Lutz team win. It was a special teams win. Will Lutz carried a lot of those points. He had 9 of them.
9 out of 26, yeah. That's a dominant team win, bro. But again, it's not a guaranteed Falcons win.
I think
if you've learned anything as a football fan this season, there ain't nothing guaranteed.
No, absolutely. I will agree with you on that. But personally, I love the Broncos. But I think the Falcons are pissed. And I think the Falcons are going to
I don't care how pissed they are. They don't travel well, and they struggled, and they've struggled multiple times this season. Not just against the Saints. It's not been all easy for the Falcons.
Well, I am alone on this fight. Dreamweaver's calling me out and says Denver's leading the NFL.
No,
so
he's not calling you out. He's just that is what the truth is. Kirk is struggling with moving in the pocket, and the offensive line is not protecting.
Well, he's not being protected at all in any case. Right. The O-line sucks for Atlanta.
Again, how is it a guaranteed win?
I still think the Falcons are going to show up for this game. I don't think
this Falcons are going to come into the game and lay a turd. But again,
it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game, but I think the Falcons are going to come out on top.
That's a better statement than it's a guaranteed win.
I still think it's a guarantee because I think the Falcons will be ahead the whole game. And the Broncos are going to be riding coattail. But it'll be a good game.
I don't see that happening.
It'll be a good game. But hey, we'll find out Sunday.
Falcons have struggled in almost every game they've played this year.
We'll find out Sunday, and there's a possibility I might be there in person. Shut up, Pinky.
I didn't say shit. All right. Well, thankfully, this weekend's games have a lot of good games. I think nobody's on bye this week.
Packers are back playing the Bears. Bears are going to get trucked.
Packers and Bears. Bears should get trucked.
Although, hold off. I went too far. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Commanders and Eagles. That'll be a fun game.
So Commanders and Eagles on Thursday night. That's going to be a fun game. That's going to be for the NFC East right now. Because the Eagles are leading at 7-2. The Commanders are 7-3. Commanders win the game. They'll be 8-3, and they'll take over first place. So
I think the Commanders can do it.
I think they can do it. I still don't think their defense is that good, though. So I think this will be a game. I think it's going to be a game. The Commanders have played well for the most part every game. This will be a game, but I do think the Eagles win, in my opinion. The Eagles are home as well. So Colts, Jets, that's a turd. Jaguars, Lions, that's a turd. Packers, Bears, that's a fun division game. Packers should win. Raiders, Dolphins, that's a turd. Rams, Patriots, that's a turd. Vikings, Titans, turd. Texans, Cowboys, turd. That's the Monday night game. That's a bad game. We've got, so that leaves Broncos, Falcons, like we talked. Oh, Saints, Browns, that's a turd.
Oh, bro. I hope for Junior the Browns win.
I hope the Browns win because I'm still hoping that they don't flex that game out of Monday Night Football, Broncos and Browns, but I'm pretty sure they are. Chief, we already talked about it, man. Chiefs won. They had good coaching. They blocked a field goal to win, and they picked the right guy to bulldoze and make it happen. Good on them. The game this weekend's the game, man. This is the game. You want to show that you're that great? Go beat the Bills. Go beat them in Buffalo. I don't see the Chiefs being as great as their record. They've gotten they've been really good in situational football. They've continued winning. And they have
but it is not domination.
They have a top 5 defense.
Very clear for the audience on this. They are winning and they are good at winning, but they are not dominating.
And waiting to the playoffs is just fine. I know Andy Reid likes to save plays to the playoffs, and they've never dominated most playoff games either, though. They kind of win at the end. Again, they're one of the best teams at situational football. It's like watching the Patriots all over again. So
I wasn't trying to take it there, but you did. So
that's watching Patriots games. They never and most of the time when the Patriots played a really good team, besides the Steelers, because they always waxed the Steelers, the games were close. The Patriots found a way to win. It's what they do. The Chiefs have proven the last 3 years that's what they do. They keep it close.
Did you catch the hot mic moment of the weekend, Pinky?
I did not catch the hot mic moment. I don't really know what it's all about.
So the hot mic moment of the weekend was asking Patrick Mahomes was asking for help from the refs to let him know when the guy was coming. And the announcers even comment on it.
Hey, if they're going to help you out, get all every advantage you can, right?
So, I mean, yeah, sure. But that, I mean, just goes into a lot of what the people have already been saying.
Well, look. When you play the Chiefs, you are playing the face of the NFL. The face of the NFL gets calls. Brady got calls. Manning got calls. They get calls. It's what the NFL does. There were multiple times the Broncos pass rushers were held, and they still sacked Mahomes, and yet they were being held the whole time, no penalty, right? They were letting them play. Again, the margin for error when you play the Chiefs is very slim. You cannot make mistakes. You can't go a whole half of football without scoring points. So at the end of the day, you just got to be better. You got to be better. The refs may have helped Elway in Denver. I don't know. I wasn't.
Denver
I was a
was
kid.
not a king of holding. There's no way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what games you're watching, but it's cool. It's cool, Chief. It's cool, man. All I know is both your tackles are awful. The top interior guys you guys have are amazing, and that's why you're winning. At least on the O-line, those tackles are awful, and they hold a lot. They also jump off sides, or they false start a lot without getting called. But at the end of the day, if you're going to beat the Chiefs, play better. The Broncos want to beat the Chiefs, they got to play better. That's the end of the day. It's not a blocked field goal. It's not a couple missed calls here and there. It's everything. Play better.
Refs helping Elway in Denver. Thoughts on that?
I don't know how they could help Elway in Denver. You could hit guys back in the day. Elway got killed back in the day. Like, you could hold back in the day and it not called. They call way more holding now. Oh, that O-line cut people when it was legal. Cut blocking was a thing. And they cut blocked the hell out of people, and it was cheap and it was dirty, but it was legal, so they did it. That wasn't holding. That was cut blocking. Get your facts right, my man.
Oh, man.
Cut blocking. When you could cut block and kill guys and you get them worried about their knees, it was dirty. And then Terrell Davis was great at the cut blocking, so I'll take that all day. They were good at what they did, and it was legal. It wasn't against the rules at the time. So I don't see how that was helping Elway. That was just those were legal at the time. They're not legal anymore because we don't want guys getting all those knee injuries. All right, we got Ravens Steelers this weekend. I love this game. I'm excited for this game. This is a measuring stick game for the Steelers. I do think the Steelers have been fool's gold. If I run down the wins that they have, I don't feel like they've beat a lot of good teams. They beat Denver 13-6. I think if they played Denver today, Denver would probably win. I might be going on a limb there, but I do think Denver would win that game if they played today with Russ in the game. They also know what Russ does well and what he doesn't do well. Seahawks-Niners. That's an interesting game. That could almost bury the Seahawks. The Seahawks do play the 49ers fairly well when they get together. So that should be a fun game. Bengals-Chargers. Again, measuring stick game for the Chargers, I think. Bengals need it. Bengals can really only lose 2 more games, so they really got to win this game. And
Dreamweaver Russ showing his true colors moving forward. Steelers about to hit reality.
We'll see. He's been playing good football. He hasn't been turning the ball over. He hasn't been running into sacks. And the Steelers O-line's not good. So I don't know like what happened, how he's flipped a switch, and he's actually been playing really well for them. So kudos to him. I don't wish him ill will I just don't think he's gonna. I think he's fool's gold for them, and I think Steelers fans will recognize that eventually. Best thing ever will be if he plays well enough, they make the playoffs, they win a playoff game, then they lose, and they re-sign him. That's what I want. Re-sign him. That's what we all want. Chiefs Bills though is the biggest game of the weekend. That is the biggest game of the weekend. The Bills, they don't want to go to Arrowhead. I think the Bills want to get the Chiefs in Buffalo. The only way that can happen is if they beat the Chiefs, and then hope some other team beats the Chiefs. If they lose this game, the championship game will be in Arrowhead. That's where it will be. And I just don't think Buffalo wants to go there. So if you don't want to go there, they got to take care of business and win. This is probably the last game the Chiefs won't be favored on the rest of their schedule. I think they're going to be favored in almost every game after this. So we'll see. I know Andy and I were talking about. Here's a question I'll throw at you, Robert, and we'll see if you have an answer.
Let's go.
If the Chiefs are 16-0 coming into Denver, do they play for the perfect season?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then you agree with me. Andy says no. Andy says no. Andy Reid won't care about that.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why for multiple reasons. Number one, Kelsey. I will almost, if they three-peat, which we all know I hate and you hate the idea of, he will retire. So they will go for the absolute perfect season to not only try to say that they're better than the Dolphins for what that's worth anymore. They want the rights. They are going for the rights.
And in my head, I know Andy has a great point that Andy Reid probably wouldn't. I think he wouldn't want to do it, but every player on that field would say, "No, coach, we need to go for this. We need to make history." So, Dolphins are not making the playoffs, bro. No way, no how. Even playing the Rams last night, they looked bad. There's no way they're making the playoffs. Bro. No way they're making the playoffs. I put money on that. No way they're making the playoffs. Because they take one more L, they're done. They're done. That's a lot of pressure. So I think the Chiefs will go for the undefeated season if they get to that mark, which is tough. Once you get to 13-0, I think the Broncos are the last team to go 13-0. It's tough. It wears on you. There's a lot of pressure. So we'll see. We'll see how we get there. But I think the Chiefs would go for it. I'm going to that game. So if the Chiefs are not playing all their starters and they let the Broncos win and make the playoffs, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And whoever the second seed is, I think the Ravens would be happy to see the Broncos. I think the Ravens would stomp the Broncos again. I don't think the Bills want. I think the Bills know the Broncos would be a tough team for them because they don't have a lot of wide receivers. They don't have a lot of great talent out there at wide receiver. I think they could struggle, and that could be a pretty good game.
Fair enough.
All you got to do is make the dance. Once you make the dance, anything's possible.
Name of the game.
All right. I think that's it for next week. Chiefs Bills game of the weekend. I wish that was Sunday night. Sunday night is the Bengals Chargers. Was still a good game, but that Bills Chiefs game just seems like that should be on Sunday night. That should be the only game in town. We should have all eyes on that game.
Yeah, and I want the Chiefs to just lose. I'm tired. I'm tired. Iggy, over it.
I want to see the Chiefs have a dominant win. At some point. It doesn't have to be this week against Buffalo, but
For Caleb's sake, I hope so.
I'd like to see them actually have a game where they come out and
For-
look ass.
For Caleb's sake, I hope so.
Because we really haven't seen that game in 2 years.
Caleb, I love you, man. I appreciate the warring differences, but I want them to dominate a win.
Dreamweaver Prime isn't going. He's not coaching the NFL.
Nah, no, we already talked about it. It's a discussion, but we don't. Nah, there's no way.
And again, I could be wrong. Dion could prove me wrong. Dion has said multiple times, I am not coaching in the NFL. I don't want to deal with overprivileged players who make too much money. And I believe he's a man of his word. So I don't think he's going to Dallas or Raiders or anywhere. I think he's going to help his son get to a good situation with the team he wants him to go to. But I don't think he's coming to coach in the NFL. And the Cowboys can't draft Shador anyways. They just paid $60 million to Dak for like 4 or 5 years, and the dead cap that they would take from that is probably worse than what the Broncos took for Russ. And like you would use up the whole rookie deal Shador would be on. So it doesn't make any sense. They're riding with Dak.
Not truly.
So the best case scenario with Shador is the Raiders fire Antonio Pierce. He gets drafted by the Raiders. He gets a head coach that he can work with, one that Dion signs off on, and they go from there. But because I don't see Shador playing in Cleveland, I don't see him playing. Trying to think who else needs a quarterback. I don't see him playing in Tennessee. Jaguars need no, they just paid Lawrence. They're not going to do anything. The Colts might need a quarterback, but I don't see him going there. The Saints need a quarterback. I don't see him going there either. The Jets need a quarterback. I don't know if they really want to go to New York. All the teams that might be drafting that need a quarterback, he doesn't have a lot of options. There are not a lot of teams that he can go to right now. He better hope the Raiders keep losing. All right, Robert, final thoughts?
Dude, I've got too many.
Okay, too many.
Number one, I saved this to the very end. Andor is finally being showcased at Disney in Brazil. There's been stills, there's been a teaser, there's been so much to come from this.
Of what?
Of Andor.
Andor what?
Star Wars.
I know they had a series. Like, are they doing another series or
no? It's season 2 of Andor, so this is leading into Rogue One now. So it is picking up, in every 3 episodes, a year passes, and it covers the next 4 years of Cassian's life. So that's coming out. And then we also had the first reveal of the final reckoning for Mission Impossible.
I guess there are some buys this week.
So the trailer for Mission Impossible, the final reckoning, is ready, man. I am so excited. I've got a lot of big hopes for cinema in the next several months. There's a lot of things coming. There's just so much happening, not just in the TV verse, but the film verse and video games. There's just a lot. Pinky, I will prepare you. There's going to be a lot of there's a new Amazon Prime show coming called, I think it's Next Level or something to that nature, that deals with a lot of video game culture that they've solicited a lot of big Hollywood players for. So I'm extremely excited for this. A lot of good stuff coming. And in, what is this? It is the 12th, I believe in a week, the Dune Prophecy show begins. So I'll be on that like white on rice, ready to go.
Is that on Max or?
It will be on Max.
On Max, okay. So yeah, I'll watch that when it's all done. We're good.
You have the Penguin to watch now, though.
I will watch gonna finish Rings of Power, and then I'm gonna do the Penguin.
Get it done.
So I'm gonna do that, so then I can talk with you about it, and then you'll stop bitching at me.
I'm gonna
about
keep
not
bitching
watching
at.
it.
I'm gonna keep bitching at Caleb too. Y'all are missing some great TV.
Well, I'll get there, man. It's not going anywhere. It's gonna be there. You know, I gotta find some. I do have some time. I'm in San Antonio next week. Caleb and you'll be on the pod by yourselves next week.
Man, are you telling me I got to carry the show for 2 straight weeks? No, I'm just kidding.
I might. I don't know. I don't have any point. Well, actually, I want to go to the Spurs game Tuesday. I'll see if that's still happening. That's what I want to do Tuesday. I want to go see Wemby play again. So I've seen Wemby play twice already.
My favorite player.
Fun both times. So Joker's my favorite player. Wemby's probably my second. He's such a unicorn. I love watching him play. So final thought. Joker, man, MVP right now. 10 games in. He's the MVP. 10 games in. For any casual basketball fans, watch a Nuggets game. Watch Joker. He really is on a whole different level. And he's worth the price of admission. You know, watch him play. Don't go your whole life without watching a guy like that play.
Yeah, no, that was a treat to see him play against Joker this last season. So,
all right, boys. Well, I think we are out. Take that time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. You never know what's going to happen in life, so take every opportunity you can to let them know how you feel, what you think about them. And until next week, we're out.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.